When a liberal receptionist messed with the wrong conservative queen, have you ever experienced that soul-crushing moment when you walk into a place and immediately feel invisible? Not just overlooked, completely erased from existence, as if you're a ghost haunting a space that refuses to acknowledge you. That exact gut-wrenching sensation washed over Karoline Leavitt, former White House press secretary and conservative firebrand, the moment she stepped into the opulent lobby of Riccio Grand, one of the crown jewels in her husband Nicholas Riccio's luxury hotel empire. But this wasn't just a case of bad service. This was a direct ideological assault, a calculated power play by a smug, blue-haired receptionist who thought she could weaponize progressivism to humiliate a woman who had spent years sparring with the most vicious left-wing media personalities in Washington. The lobby itself was a masterpiece of wealth and sophistication, gleaming marble floors, cascading crystal chandeliers that scattered light like diamonds, and the faint scent of imported leather mingling with the crisp aroma of freshly cut flowers. Yet, beneath the veneer of luxury lurked something far uglier. Avery, the disheveled, earbud-wearing receptionist with electric blue streaks in her hair, her fingers dancing across her phone screen as a leftist podcast blared into her ears. The moment Avery's eyes flickered up and locked onto Karoline's face, recognition flashed, and so did contempt. "Sorry, ma'am," Avery drawled, her voice dripping with faux sweetness that couldn't disguise the venom beneath. "But we prioritize open-minded guests here." The way she emphasized open-minded was deliberate, a not-so-subtle dig at Karoline's conservative credentials. Karoline didn't flinch. She had faced down far more intimidating opponents in the White House briefing room, a snotty hotel clerk. With the superiority complex wasn't even a warm-up. What unfolded next wasn't just a confrontation, it was a masterclass in public annihilation. Karoline didn't raise her voice. She didn't resort to empty threats. Instead, she played Avery like a fiddle, luring her into a trap of her own making before dismantling her with surgical precision. System logs, timestamps, a single phone call to her White House tech guru, Josh, who pulled digital receipts proving Avery had manually deleted Karoline's reservation after Googling her. The internet exploded. The left screamed oppression. The right roared justice. But the real question burning through every tweet, every headline, every whispered conversation in that lobby was, what happens when you pick a fight with a woman who spent her career outmaneuvering the most ruthless political operatives in America? A fake name, a smug receptionist, and a husband who owns the whole damn hotel, Karoline had booked her stay under the name Caroline Wilson, a deliberate choice to avoid the circus that followed her everywhere. She wasn't here to make a statement. She wasn't here to stir the pot. After weeks of brutal media battles in Washington, she just wanted a quiet night in a luxurious suite where no one would bother her. But Avery wasn't just any receptionist. She was a self-righteous activist masquerading as hospitality staff. And the second she matched Karoline's face to the sharp-tongued conservative commentator she'd seen eviscerate leftists on Fox News, her mission became clear. Make Karoline Leavitt disappear. "I don't see your reservation," Avery lied, her fingers still hovering over her phone, where a "Resist Trump" post glowed on her screen. Karoline's smile didn't waver. "Check again." The air between them crackled with tension, thick enough to choke on. Nearby guests, wealthy socialites, businessmen, a few wide-eyed tourists, froze mid-conversation, sensing the storm brewing at the front desk. Then came the trap. Karoline didn't yell, didn't scream. She simply pulled out her phone, dialed a number, and in less than a minute, her former White House tech specialist, Josh, was digging through Riccio Grand's internal systems. The proof appeared on Karoline's screen like a death sentence. Reservation deleted at 5:18 p.m. by user Avery L. Boom. Avery's face drained of color. It must be a glitch," she stammered, her voice cracking under the weight of her own lie. Karoline leaned in, her voice a razor-sharp whisper that carried across the silent lobby. "A glitch? Or a little activist playing judge in my husband's Hotel? Fired on the spot, filmed by strangers, and finished in front of the whole world. Nicholas Riccio arrived like a thunderclap, his presence commanding every molecule of oxygen in the room. At 6'3", with silver-streaked hair and eyes so dark they seemed black with fury, he didn't need to raise his voice to send a chill down Avery's spine. He didn't ask questions. He didn't entertain excuses. He read the logs, looked at his wife, then turned back to Avery with a verdict that shattered whatever defiance she had left. "You're fired. Get out." Avery broke. "You can't do this." "I have rights!" she shrieked, her voice spiraling into hysterics as tears streaked her heavily made-up face. Nicholas didn't blink. "Your rights ended when you refused my wife." The lobby erupted. A middle-aged man in a MAGA hat clapped, grinning like he'd just watched his team score a touchdown. A pink-haired college student whipped out her phone, screaming, "This is fascism," as she filmed the whole thing for Instagram. But Karoline? She didn't gloat. She didn't smirk. She simply tweeted the evidence, cold, hard, undeniable, and watched as Dr. Karoline V's liberal receptionist rocketed to number 3 nationwide in under 20 minutes. Power, policy, and a warning that will echo through every hotel in America upstairs in the HID penthouse suite. Karoline sipped a glass of Nicholas's finest whiskey, the amber liquid catching the light as she watched Mark Hensley, the spineless, sweating manager, grovel for his job. "One strike," Nicholas growled, his voice low but carrying the weight of a guillotine. "Any staff member pulls an Avery, they're gone. No excuses, no second chances." Mark nodded like a bobblehead, his forehead glistening with sweat as he stammered. Out promises of reform, but Karoline wasn't done. She wanted blood in the water. "Post an official statement," she said, her voice calm but laced with steel. "Make it clear, Riccio Grand doesn't tolerate political games. And Nick?" She turned to her husband, her blue eyes blazing. "Fire any manager who lets this happen again." Nicholas smirked. "Done! Who actually won this war? The internet split in half." Conservatives hailed Karoline as a modern-day warrior queen, flooding her mentions with messages like, "Karoline is a legend. Leftists can't handle the truth." And this is what happens when you mess with a woman who spent years dismantling fake news. Liberals painted Avery as a martyr for social justice, screaming into the void with tweets like, "Avery was brave. Karoline's just a bully with power." And this is what oppression looks like, firing someone for standing up to bigotry. But here's the thing. Karoline didn't just win this battle. She set a trap for every fool who dares to try her next. So tell me, was Avery wrong for refusing service based on politics? Or was Karoline ruthless for destroying her career over it? Drop your opinion in the comments. Want more culture war drama? Smash that subscribe button before the lefties try to cancel us too.